What's up? Dr. Chow, the Mega G. First up in the batting order. Welcome, Friday Night Live. Hold on, I'm getting a communique from the Comedy Store. Picking up a spot as we speak. Welcome. Team off. I will be on The Dirty Show. The Dirty at 10:30 in the Belly Room tonight. So this has to be an hour stream on the button, Slick. So thank you very much to the Comedy Store. Kisses, everyone. Let's ask the Comedy Store a quick question before we get in it. Jay Santos, hi Earl. I just got home from the bowling alley. 247, 234, 181. That's quite a bowler. I am not that good at bowling. I think my high is like a 146, something of that nature. Hold on, I'm communicating with the comedy club. Something not many people in the Dabbleverse can say. Hold on, we're getting mass communications here. Let's see what time I go on. What's the t-shirt of the night, Earl? The same one I had on last night. The Kiss Animalize 1980. Oh shit, I'm starting it off. 1040. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh shit, Moshe. I mean, this is quite the lineup. Quite the lineup. So it's an honor. I am humbled and honored to be on that show. So I'm just having to move some things around and do my thing. It's quite a lineup. Trust me on that one. And I'll take it. I will take it. So, we can talk any and all things tonight. We can talk AEW Dynasty. We can talk NHL hockey. I got to get a couple people on the guest list. Hold on here. Sorry about this. This is unprofessional. I know this isn't the most exciting stream, but this is breaking news. Breaking news, my friends. As soon as I tie up any loose ends, we'll be back to taking care of business. Let me see. So we got the Kings and the Edmonton Oilers for the third year in a row squaring off Monday night, Wednesday night, and then the series comes back to Los Angeles Friday night Sunday night. So should be a good series, excuse me. And it's the last 2 years, Mikey Anderson was hurt. And then last year, Drew Doughty was hurt. If you remember, I think the year Doughty was hurt, we had a real ragtag group on the D line, and I think we lost to Edmonton in 6, 7 the year before. So now the Kings are fully healthy, and I think the key is funny that um, the key to the LA Kings beating the Edmonton Oilers is probably the most hated man on the Kings. Number 80, Pierre-Luc Dubois. This is essentially why the Kings got him. They wanted to roll out the center depth of Kopitar, Deneau, Dubois, and Lizotte. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, King fans already want Dubois gone, but I think if he helps them win in the playoffs, his regular season will be not necessarily forgotten, but forgiven. So I'm looking forward to how he plays. I'll be keeping a keen eye on PLD. The Kings are healthy, so how do you not know Antonio Brown? He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I see we got some crosstalk in the chat. What I don't know. I don't see any questions in regards to Antonio Brown. One of the great receivers and maybe the most what if players in the history of the league. What if he was semi-normal upstairs in the brain capacity? Yeeks. I'm you my DM with him earlier. Oh, I didn't understand what that meant, Dr. Chow. I mean, I mean, nowhere does it say Antonio Brown in that. Well, I see just at the top it was AB 84, but I mean that could be anything. I like how you said, "What's the budget?" Fuck it. Yeah, but I don't see Antonio Brown anywhere in that DM. I mean, at the very top of the screen it says AB 24, but that could be anybody, or AB 84. That could be my Twitter handle if I, did it right. A solid. I mean, yeah, go ahead if that's really him, but who knows if it is or not. There's another Earl Skakel on Instagram, and it looks like it's me. So, I mean, he's fucking crazy. And the weird thing is, like, I've like when he took cryo and he took it barefoot, and it was, cryo is so cold it basically burns you instead of freezes you. Like, you can't take cryo with anything less than socks and sneakers on. The fact that he did it barefoot is nuts. Um, but he's had a problem everywhere he's played, so that onus is on him, I think. So, I don't know. I can see Chow sitting alone in his man crush jersey like Aaron Emholt. I would interview Antonio Brown. I mean, because the odds are he's going to say something stupid. So it probably would get picked up by mainstream media, Ian Rappaport or, any of those insiders, the Pro Fight League stuff. No, I don't watch that stuff. I mean, I've really checked out of MMA. I couldn't name you one heavyweight, whereas, 5 years ago, I could name them all. I'm not against it. I don't watch it, to be honest. Um, I mean, UFC really peaked, and then it kind of, I don't know. I mean, I think the Fertitas were very smart to get out when they did, because if you look at the Fertitas, they got out at basically the height of McGregor's fame, the height of Rousey's fame, the height of Velasquez's fame. And if you look at all those, uh, I think what the UFC is lacking now is mainstream stars. Like, I can't think of one UFC fighter I'd like to see in, say, an Expendables movie. Um, like Rousey was a big deal. I mean, they were going to make Roadhouse, the one they made with Jake Gyllenhaal, with Rousey, but then she got crushed in her last two fights, and I'm assuming that made them go, maybe not. Um, and then, you know, McGregor's great when he's winning, but when he's losing and Khabib just outclassed him, the shit talking doesn't really mean much if you're losing. It's like the same thing with Chael Sonnen. It's like he was great when he was winning. Hit the like button. 8 people in here and one like. Shit. Um, and unfortunately, with Amanda Nunes, she doesn't speak the best English, so you can't really. I mean, I think she was in a Modelo commercial, but she didn't really have to talk. And then before her, Cyborg, like I don't think you want that to be the face of the women's division. Um, it is what it is. I mean, she's got the body of a dude, and facially, she's not the most feminine. Um, and then Holly Holm, you know, the preacher's daughter, she's kind of boring. So, the Fertitas, whether they knew all this was coming down the pike or not, great move. You talk about buying low at, I think, $2 million and selling high. I think it was 4 billion. I mean, that's maybe the greatest investment in the history of the world. No, I don't watch other. I don't really watch Rogan. I don't watch anyone's podcast because I don't want to steal ideas or questions. Uh, I mean, listen, Trump won, so like anything's possible. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of McGregor. I think it's funny what a couple years ago he slapped that old guy in the head, and the old guy didn't move an inch. Um, but when you're winning, it's great. You know, it's like Kevin Dubrow of Quiet Riot. When Quiet Riot had the #1 album, first heavy metal band to debut at #1, you could talk a lot of shit and kind of be a dick and all that. But then when the record sales start dropping, and you can't be a dick. It's my friend. I don't want to blow him up, but he was casting director for one of Dane Cook's last big movies, and he had horror stories about how Dane was on set, and he's like, "You can be a dick when you're a star. He can't be a dick." you know. So, McGregor, Sonnen, I mean Rousey, the cunty attitude Rousey had was great when she was winning, but when she wouldn't shake Holmes' hand, and I mean Nunes knocked her out in what, 48 seconds. You got to be a little more humble. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dane judged my first roast battle on television. Nice enough guy. I mean, I'd only dealt with him one other time when he judged roast battle. Just the regular weekly show. And I don't think he really knew what the show was about. Of course, I'm sure Jeff didn't tell him. And I was killing him the whole night, just killing him. And I felt bad looking back because, like I said, I mean, like Chappelle went up there a lot, but he got the idea of roast battle where he's the biggest comic in the world, but yet we can all shit on him. So Dane was just like a little bit in the weeds. And he came up to me after that night, and he's like, "Hey, man, let's get together. I'll write you some better shit." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Every line I had on you worked." But then in my battle against Jesse Joyce, he was very nice and complimentary. So, um, but it just goes to um, Kiss can be cocky when they were the number one band in the world, I think, for 3 straight years. But in the early '80s, when they were struggling, like you got to be a little more humble. So, excuse me. So I don't really know what's going to happen in the UFC. I mean, I know Max Holloway knocked out Gaethje last weekend, but like I couldn't name you one other fight on the card, whereas before I could name you all six on the main event and even the undercards. The Overeems, the Verdums. They don't have John Jones really. I mean, he's such a fuck up. But they'll he's. I saw a picture of him at heavyweight. Jesus, he looks pretty big, um, like in shape, big. I mean, he's kind of reminds me of Bob Probert. Like I'm sure John Jones is still partying, and I can't imagine trying to submit or knock out like whatever John Jones is on. Like he probably literally feels no pain. Um, yeah, I mean, she was in I think the Expendables 3, and then she was supposed to be um, the lead, and they were going to do basically the Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse movie, but with Ronda Rousey. But I'm sure the producers were like, okay, she just got her ass kicked twice. Nuh-uh. I mean, that's Hollywood in a nutshell. You go from being the star of the movie to them not even giving you a cameo in it. So, it'll be interesting to. And she's good in wrestling, the like WWE, and I think she's in Ring of Honor now. So, um, it should be interesting what she does now that her fighting career is over. Although I've heard, excuse me, rumors of maybe a possible Rousey Misha Tate fight. I don't want to see that shit. Um, but we'll see. I mean, I don't think Rousey likes wrestling. Like, I think she's a big Roddy Piper fan, and she kind of tries to emulate him. But I think Rousey's more into that Sid and Ultimate Warrior mindset of, hey, I don't like doing this shit, but the money's pretty good. I mean, Sid Vicious would literally have rather have played softball. I think he missed a pay-per-view once because he picked to do a softball tournament instead. And the Ultimate Warrior was just like, yeah, I'll do whatever. Just I better be getting paid. Um, so it's quite interesting when it's like when Muhammad Ali started losing. The shit talking didn't. When he was losing to like Trevor Burbick and Larry Holmes. Not that Larry Holmes was a bad guy to lose to, but all the raps and the cockiness was like, oh man, you're getting your ass handed to you. I mean, Larry Holmes at the end of the fight was literally crying because he was beating up his idol. Um, excuse me. Um, so I don't watch the UFC anymore. It's just not interesting to me. You know, it's like the UFC right now is like I grew up watching wrestling in the '80s, and then when it hit the early '90s, I kind of checked out for a couple years because it just wasn't interesting to me. Um, and that's where I think the UFC is. You got to do a better because you think back to all those names I mentioned a few minutes ago. They really thought they had everything covered. You had Rousey bringing in the females, you had Velasquez bringing in the Hispanics, and you had McGregor just blowing up. One of the most popular people on planet Earth. And you had the Diaz brothers bringing in the Stoners. You had Overeem bringing in the Japan crowd. What up, my lost interest? So we're just talking a little bit of my lack of interest in the UFC. I have lost interest. My lost interest is the UFC. But now I'm getting back into wrestling because wrestling is good again. You got WWE and AEW, tweeting against each other, promos against each other. Triple H just said something about AEW, I think on SmackDown, or maybe it was Raw. Will Ospreay said something about Triple H's wife. CM Punk is throwing digs at the Young Bucks. Young Bucks are throwing digs back. Um, Kenny Omega is kind of trying to be the peacemaker. So, it's interesting again. Um, and, you got Cody Rhodes being complimentary about Kenny Omega, Omega being complimentary about Cody Rhodes. So you don't see that anymore in the UFC. There's really not one guy or girl that I'm like, I want to hear what they have to say. Well, I think she did, but I also think, it's where the lines of reality and fiction are kind of blurred. You know, like we all know wrestling is, I don't like saying fake, but it's scripted. AEW Dynasty, the writers are determining who's going to win between Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. Just the reality. But um, we still like that, like in the back of our minds, we like to go, is this real or not? And I think with Rousey getting killed in her last two fights, I think the WWE struggled with, okay, we can't really say she's this ass-kicking cyborg when she just, in real life, got her ass handed to her. So I think they struggle with, and she's not great on the mic. I think she would have been better with a manager like a Paul Heyman or like a Stokely Hathaway when he was there. I feel the same way about Mercedes Moné. She's not good on the mic. She's great in the ring. So it's crazy to me that she's not wrestling on Dynasty this week. Just give her a squash match, set up something for the Vegas pay-per-view in a few months, and then that leads into All in London. I mean, you've got to have her wrestling. She seems uncomfortable on the mic. And you'd think, wait a minute, she can wrestle in front of 80,000 people, but she can't speak. But a lot of people are like that. Mic work is tough, man. It's not easy. I mean, think about what they're asked to do. Okay, cut a live promo. There's 30,000 people in the arena watching, and there's probably, if it's AEW, 800,000 watching. If it's WWE, probably 2 million. That's a lot of fucking people. And you start thinking, oh my God, what do I say? Well, AC/DC, I don't like to get into racial issues, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So, my point with Mercedes Moné is just, either have her wrestling because that's what she's best at, or give her a manager. Now, maybe she said, no, I don't want a manager. Maybe she's the problem. Maybe she said, I'm going to talk. But that's where I think AEW would do better if the creative team, someone in that creative room, not in the presence of Mercedes, go, hey, listen, she's not that great on the mic. Let's have her wrestle immediately. Have her squash Abaddon, and then have her squash Serena Deeb. Just get her a couple. Almost make her into like Goldberg, where no one can beat her. And then because I was at the event where she broke her ankle wrestling Willow Nightingale. It was a New Japan show in Long Beach. And I'm telling you, when she wrestles, you can't keep your eyes off her. It's like ballet. It's beautiful. She's like almost like a black female Will Ospreay. But maybe her ankle's still fucked up. Could be that. I mean, although she seems to be walking around quite nicely, but she should be on the main event card. And like, how is Jay White for the second pay-per-view in a row on 0 Hour? Like, that's crazy. And that's where you go, okay, now I see why AEW is losing the ratings war. Like, Jay White should be in the main event card. I mean, AEW has fucking talent, man. You've got Swerve, you got Samoa Joe, you got MJF when he comes back, you got Adam Cole when he comes back, you've got Will Ospreay, you've got Takeshita, you've got Omega when he comes back, you've got Powerhouse Hobbs, Brian Danielson, Jay White. I mean, that's 10 guys right there who should be on almost every fucking pay-per-view. Um, so all good AC/DC 5150, all good in the hood. And you've just not the Kingdom. What's that tag team? The big guy who comes out in the white overalls and does the tongue thing, and the guy with the beard. Not the Kingdom, but the guy with he goes like that. Like they should be on a 0 hour match. I mean, and Malachi Black is another guy. That guy should be in singles competition. Buddy Matthews should be in. I wouldn't be upset if all three guys in House of Black were singles guys. Because all three of those guys are great workers. And, I mean, Buddy Matthews has been compared to a bigger Kenny Omega just to show you, like, how good that guy is. So, Kim Mitchell, who's that? I don't know who Kim Mitchell is, to be honest with you. So, obviously, I don't have a favorite song. The name sounds really familiar, but I'm blanking on who they are at the moment. Welcome, Kip Smith, the world's greatest moderator. Well, the Kennedy family supporting Biden is karma for my cousin RFK Jr. not having me on his stand-up show. Things do work out. I'm just drawing a blank, William Zoom. Kim Mitchell. Who is Kim Mitchell? I can't know them all. But I'm sure who Kim Mitchell, they don't know who I am, so it all works out. It all works out. Sorry, I got hockey on my brain and professional wrestling, so I do apologize for not knowing who Kim Mitchell is. The name sounds incredibly familiar to me, though. I don't know who Max Webster is. Who are these people? Tell me. I'm drawing a complete blank. Fifth greatest Canadian rocker ever. Or is that, you mean besides Triumph and Bryan Adams? And who's Max Webster? I'm not proficient with my knowledge of Canadian musicians, although I am friends with the great Brent Fitz, drummer for Slash, featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, as well as their bass player, Todd Dammit Kearns. Thank you very much. Hit the like button. 10 people in here. 7 likes. Let's get it together, guys. Come on. I'll be at the Comedy Store tonight in the Belly Room, 1046. I'll be there tomorrow night, 12:15. Yes, JFMC of Toke. I was the best man at Brent Fitz's first wedding. And I'm longtime friends with Todd Kearns, the 5-star bass player, can play guitar. I forget which episode of Inappropriate Earl it was, but I had Brent Fitz, Todd Kearns, and the great Frank Sidoris on my couch in the early days of Inappropriate Earl, talking about what it's like playing for and with Slash. So check that out. I don't know what episode it is. I don't want to take away any time by looking it up. Listen to all episodes of Inappropriate Earl. Someone said people have sex up there. Yes, they do. Trust me on that one. Yes, Corey Churko, I want to believe, whose brother Kevin is a big producer of music in the Vegas area. All my musician friends either live in Vegas or Nashville. You got to beat those state income taxes. Trust me on that one. I might go to Vegas at some point. Oh, thank you, AJ. Patton's a good man. I see him every now and then at the Comedy Store. Not too often. He's not really a store guy, but he was very gracious with his time. Yeah, I had my friend doing that for me, but then she stopped. I think. I mean, I don't know what it takes to do that. I might have to pay someone just to put all the episodes up on YouTube because that could really bump my hours up. And I could get some money, honey. I do like doing Zoom inappropriate Earls because about 30 minutes after they're done, I can put them on YouTube and gets the hours up. I guess now on YouTube you can do super thanks for videos. So yeah, it really is all about the views. Um, getting the algorithm, for just my channel, and get inappropriate or a little bit of heat, a little bit of love. So Zen's producer was my go-to. I don't know. I don't think I did anything to piss her off because she was. Um, Also ran my Patreon, and she kind of stopped out of the blue. But I wasn't paying her, so I can't really complain. Um, so hold on, I'm getting a communique. Uh, I'm getting a communique from the Comedy Store. I really didn't, William. Yeah, I like the Matt Berry one. I mean, he's a big casting director. For those of you who don't know who Matt was, like he cast like Con Air and like huge, huge movies. He was one of the, um, I think, producers of the movie Alpha Dog. Um, so like he's legit and big, big hockey fan. So that was a fun one to do. Hold on, let me just type this. Hmm. Um, yeah, I mean, we're both big King fans. So, and I realized that doing at least part of that interview was about Pierre-Luc Dubois and the Kings was probably boring or whatever. But we're both hockey fans, so excuse me. Oh no, I mean, I thought I might have done something wrong too, so I went over all of our communications, and I get it. You're not getting paid. Um, I understand that. Because I would like my Patreon to be a little better in terms of the content, but um, like I started putting up my longer sets up on Patreon, and I thought that would like maybe get me some listeners. Um, does the store need an emergency comic? Tonight they did. That's why I'm on um, I guess it's the Dirty at 10:30 show. So um, I'm sure whoever spot I'm filling, and I never know who didn't show up, and I never asked, to be honest with you. Maybe they got another gig, they were their plane didn't come in today or whatever. So um, I've gotten that request a lot because they know I live right by the store, and I don't do the road a lot. Yeah, 2 nights in a row. It's a rarity for me at the Comedy Store, but yes, board check the light button, pretty please. And thank you to Zen's producer, Bex, for all the work you did do on my Patreon page and uploading, I think, about 20 to 25 episodes of Inappropriate Earl. That definitely helped me get the 3,000 hours. So not a complaint at all. But if I um, I think if you really want to get consistency from that stuff, you got to pay them. But um, I until I start like making decent money streaming and whatnot, it's not that I can't afford to pay anyone, but I don't want to operate at a loss. So we'll see where it goes. And Lois is at Gail's house right now, so um, Lois is just chilling with Donnie and Darla, Gail's two cats, and there you go. So, but Lois is good. Her heart murmur is me and Gail are doing a good, um, medical. We're doing our best. Hold on, let me do a little promoting of the Belly Room show. I have to, act like. Hold on here. I got to do this. There we go. I have to. Lois loves cats. So, which is funny. Like her best friend is a cat, Donnie the cat, which is kind of cool. Let's see here. I'm trying to do this. This is hard to do when you have. Let's see here. All right, let's do that. It's tough when you don't have a producer here. I'm a one-man army. I'm going to work out after this stream. So we got 15 minutes. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Yeah, I do. That's the one regret I have, is that I did not do more video back in the day. But I did not realize the importance of that. I wish the Piper podcast. I bet you Jeff is watching this, and I know he has moles. I know, like when I see a comic watching my Instagram stories, and I know we've never really talked a lot. I know what's going on, and Gail watches my streams or my chats or my stories. I don't mind that, and Chandler, she's a sneaky one. I know she's got some burner accounts, and every now and then I see a name that I'm like, okay, I don't know this person, but all love, all love. I don't hate. Follow Gail and Chandler. I don't give a fuck. I guarantee you, they're not throwing people my way. Um, just don't bother them. Like Earl has the Kevin Brennan Lois cough tonight. Hello, I don't know why I'm got a little bit of a cough. Let me get a lozenge. I'm a slave to the system, sucker. Also, everybody, Let's see that jizz-soaked couch on the podcast. You got that right, brother. If some of my guests only knew what they were sitting on. Pew! Here's a game to play. This will get you to, I wish they had that. What if I had more on inappropriate Earl? Sexual predators or the number of guests I've slept with? Pew! Suck on that. All right, guys, we got about 10 more minutes before we go off into the Friday night Earlverse stream. We're at the 40-minute mark. Might have to cut this one a little short because of the emergency comedy store set where I must perform at an elite level. Let me go on Twitter and just promote. I'm just a one-man soldier. Hit the like button. Ask me a question. Do whatever you feel you can do. The Earl casting couch. Yeah, but all my girls were willing. Trust me on that one. But, welcome to Hollywood, guys. And, I'm just a one-man army. I don't have a producer. I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager. Check out my voiceover reel I just threw up on YouTube and on my Instagram. There's many ways to help a streamer. It's not about money, honey. It's not about super chats or super thanks or buying gifted memberships. Of course, all those are appreciated, but you can, share my Instagram stories. You can retweet my voiceover reel on Twitter. That's free. It's like hitting the like button, or just watch the videos, it's, I realize in these tough economic times, you can't always financially donate or tip. As William Zoom would say, I'm just a bartender. You like what you see, tip me. If not, hit the like button, retweet something. It's no joke. I mean, here's the thing. And we can end the stream on some political discussion. I honestly, and I don't like Trump. I don't like Biden. I really don't. I think both are evil people. I'm not trying to get anyone to change their votes or whatever. Just and I voted for Trump in the last election, but I don't think the DOJ is going after Trump at Biden's request. I honestly don't believe that. Now, I do think the Stormy Daniels hush money case is the weakest of the cases, but it might be in some ways the most important. Because if you believe the prosecution that, Michael Cohen was acting directly at the bequest of Donald Trump to hide this information from getting out, if that information gets out, Trump doesn't win. And you think, what, it literally changed the world. I did vote for Trump. I would not vote for him again, to be honest with you. It's just too much baggage. And I wouldn't vote for Biden. I just, that's why I'm kind of rooting for my cousin, even though he didn't have me on on his comedy show. It's just like, both are bad choices, in my opinion. So, but it's not like RFK Jr. is a great choice either. He's got all these wacky fucking conspiracy theories, and this country needs change in both parties. The fact that basically 280-year-olds are running, that's not a good sign, man. And then, the Republicans. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about Clinton, but like, yeah, there's that. Um, there's probably every president's a scumbag. Um, I'm sure Reagan did some shady shit. Um, I don't know about Carter. Like Carter actually seemed to be a good person. He was just too nice for politics. You don't think Nixon and Ford did some shit? Um, I wrote Schwarzenegger in for president. I know he couldn't win, but I did a little note, said I just like his movies. So I do think that what's funny to me about this hush money trial is that now all the left, CNN, MSNBC, most of the popular YouTube streams are on YouTube anyway, are lean to the left. I just think it's funny how they all love Michael Cohen now. I mean, this is Trump's fixer. This is the guy who was Trump's enforcer, if you will. So now all of a sudden, since he has a beef with Trump, we love this guy. Well, this guy did a lot of shit. So yeah, I mean, I think politics in general are shitty. You know, it's both sides. You know, but I don't know how you fix it. To be honest with you, I mean, how do you fix it? You know, I don't think it's fixable. I mean, look at all the scummy people on both sides. You got Matt Gaetz. What a fucking creep that guy is. And then you got, Adam Schiff out here in California, Gavin Newsom. Newsom wants to run for president. As someone who lives in California, it sucks out here. I'm not going to move because for what I want to do, I have to be out here. But like gas prices are through the roof. Like when I used to go to Alabama with Chandler, I was fucking blown away at the gas prices, like $1.95. Whereas when we would get back on a plane in California, it's 6.30. And the thing with California is it's a Democratic state. Newsom's got no fucking excuse. The governor's Democratic. Most, not all, but most mayors are Democratic. The House and Senate are Democratic. Like, there's no excuse for a Democrat to not get everything done they want. It's the same thing with Republicans in Texas. If you're a Republican governor, you should get every law passed that you want. The whole state's red. Yeah, but yeah, you're right, Grimace. I mean, who wants to get into politics? You know, like who on earth, knowing the deep dives they do, and if you had any problem with an ex-girlfriend, it's gonna come out. If you got an abortion in the '80s, that's gonna come out. Um, I kinda liked Alabama. It was, Southern hospitality, and a lot of people Huntsville, Alabama, it's like where all the rocket scientists live, so it's like Alabama has a reputation like the South of being dumb, but, it's probably the smartest city in America. All those fucking scientists. Um, well, you need, like a third party that's actually got some chance, like RFK Jr., he has no chance to run as an independent. No independent has a chance. They just don't. So, well, I mean, I could see why people do politics, the power, the money, the puss puss. But yeah, I never went to Northern Alabama. Although me and Chandler did drive to Tennessee once to see the Predators play. Um, but um, I really enjoyed my time there. Um, I mean, the Planet Fitness in Decatur, like, it was unbelievable. They wouldn't take my money. I'd be like, "Hey, I'm here from Los Angeles." They're like, "We know." I'm like, "How'd you know that?" Yeah, here's I'd like to. Can I buy a week's guest pass? No, it's all good, dude. Um, well, I don't agree with you there. There's two parties: the Republicans and the Democrats, and Independent is it's not really a party. I mean, look at RFK Jr. He's got like 7% of the fucking vote or whatever you want to call it. So, is Huntsville considered Northern Alabama? I see that. I don't know. That I don't know. But it's unfair. I mean, look at the money that Trump and Biden are raising. Over $100 million. Like, you got these rich donors out here, and Trump has them in Florida. Like, it's crazy. Uh, so it's sad that people like Lindsey Graham, and I mean, look at Mitch McConnell, man. The guy's fucking comatose half the time. This is like the top guy. Fuck that. And Schumer on the left. I mean, if you had to pick between Schumer and Mitch McConnell, ooh, fuck that. I just quit. Uh, it's all good, Dr. Nova. I got to go in about 5 minutes. So thank you for coming in late night. It's all good. I've noticed that I have more numbers usually at night. Like tonight, not so much. There's only 10 people in here. And I do appreciate the 10 who are in here. But I'm trying to figure out the best. Thursday night, I think I had about 30 or 40 people in here last night. So, yeah, I mean, look at Feinstein. Like that one thing she was voting on, and she had to have her intern basically whisper in her ear what she was doing. Like, then these are the people making the fucking laws. Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, it really is wackadoon. But, it's the system we have. You know, I mean, Newsom probably will be president one day. He's a good-looking guy. He's a slick talker. You know, was on TV the other day saying what a good job we're doing with the homeless. The homeless out here are fucking out of control. They run the state. Sorry about that. My bad. I get a little fired up when I'm talking about politics. It's all good. It's all good, Dr. Nova. I don't people have lives, man. And I realize on a Friday night you've already had Shuli on the air, Melton on the air, Kevin on the air, Chad on the air, among many others. So I don't expect my stream on a Friday night to have like thousands of people in it, or whatnot. I do them when I have the energy to do them, and my energy, frankly, is a lot better at night. But I like this stream we're doing. We're talking wrestling, hockey, politics, a little bit of stand up. What up, Greg Jarnigan? We got 6 more minutes in the stream. Um, so, we're kind of wrapping up on politics. I mean, look at Clinton and Bush. Who is better? Come on. Um, and then you had Bush Senior and Clinton. Come on. And then Reagan and Mondale. I mean, not great choices, but you got to choose one of them. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the debates. I hope they do, but they have to debate. I mean, those debates will be out of control and the best reality TV you could ever imagine. especially if they let RFK Jr. in. Like, he'll cause a stink. He'll get Trump going. He'll make fun of him or something, and then Trump will be like, "Well, you're fucking, your dad's dead, bitch." He'll be like Christian Cage, bringing up the dead dad, and then Biden will just be like, "Okay, I'm going to be quiet. This is great." And then by the time they go to him, he'll be asleep on the stage, like Trump was at his trial this week twice. I mean, oh shit, hold on. Jay Santos coming in late. Do a Jay Santos 4.99. Do a Tonight Show format, a la Lord Alfred Hayes, Vince McMahon style. I can be your Lord Alfred Hayes. I mean, how many other streams you get this much acknowledgement when you super chat? Huh? That's Jay Santos' third super on a live stream. Thank you, Jay Santos, very much. I work alone. I'm like Schwarzenegger's unit in Predator. My team always works alone. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's horrible. I've been to Frisco. It is a literal shithole. I mean, it's horrible. Like, I went to do the Comedy Central Cluster Fest a couple years ago, I think 2019 maybe, and it was fucking brutal, bruv. People shitting on the street in broad daylight in crowded streets, not just like a side street. Went to 7-Eleven, guys doing heroin with the needle out of his arm, holding the door open for me, blood squirting everywhere like it was a Kiss concert going off in his vein. Now, is that guy's problems Nancy Pelosi's problems? Not necessarily, but like, it's the Wild West in Frisco, and I can't imagine it getting any better. Like, it was like fucking nuts. So hold on, I'm getting another communique from the Comedy Store. Sorry, I'm just about to wrap up, so I gotta, yeah, but that's why I want it, Dr. Nova. I want to see just fucking two 80-year-old dudes, and hopefully, the youngest guy on the stage would be Kennedy. What's he, in his early 60s? I mean, that's crazy. I apologize for the cough. I don't know how to stop it at this point. Maybe with the 4.99 Jay Santos just sent in, I can get some orange juice. Thank you, Jay, very much. We got 2 more minutes before the end stream button is pushed, and the finger is on the end stream button. So when this stream hits 1 hour and 1 second, it's done. So get your questions in right now. Get those super chats in right now. Show me the money, honey. That's the first time in 4 months of streams I've asked for money, honey. I just wanted to do that, to be honest with you. So I'll probably do a stream tomorrow night. I mean, I think that I know that CNN, I mean, this shows you how wacky this world is. CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, all three co-wrote a letter saying there has to be debates. I mean, that's how fucking desperate the TV networks are, because they know how good the debates will be. I mean, listen, whether you like Trump or not, he is good TV. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Get those questions in. Lily Tomlin leads a seance at the Comedy Store yearly to contact Andy Kaufman. I've never heard of that. Thank you, ACDC, for the information. By the way, tomorrow night I'll be at the Comedy Store at 12:15 in the Sam Kinison, Brody Stevens, Brian Holtzman, Sam Tripoli spot that now basically is the Earl spot. Thank you very much. The Earl Skakel spot. One day in a couple years, some comic is going to be in their stream going, tonight I'm at the Comedy Store in the Earl Skakel spots. All right, we got 20 seconds, guys. And at 21 seconds, you won't see my pretty face on the TV. So, any last minute questions? Get them in. 5, 4, 3, 2,